You don't get lucky in this life. You get relentless. And the people who make it, the ones who rise, the ones who break through, aren't sitting around waiting for things to change. They're changing themselves. While others are hoping, they're building. While others are planning to begin, they've already put in hours. While others dream, they're awake, working like hell. Every day. Not when they feel like it. Not when the mood is right. Every single day. Because they understand something most people never will. Success doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to action. And not just once in a while, but over and over and over again. You want real change? You want freedom? You want your life to finally reflect the potential you know is inside you. Then you're going to have to outwork who you used to be. That's where it begins. The transformation starts when you stop doing what's easy and start doing what's necessary. Not just when it's convenient, not just when it's exciting, but when it's brutal, when it's silent, when nobody's watching. That's when it counts. The world rewards work, not just activity, not busyness, real work. Work that demands more of you than you think you can give. Work that forces you to grow because it burns through everything soft, everything fake, everything fragile. It doesn't matter what you've done before. It doesn't matter how long you've been stuck. The moment you decide you're done living small, you've got to be willing to work like hell to prove it. Most people live their lives stuck in cycles. They complain about, but never change. They talk a big game, but when it's time to show up, they're nowhere to be found. You want to separate yourself, show up, do what others aren't willing to do. Day after day, week after week. Not for applause, not for recognition, but because you know deep down, you weren't built for average. The human being is capable of so much more than it realizes. But potential is cheap. What matters is effort. Intentions don't change your bank account. Dreams don't build your legacy. Action does. And not just comfortable action. The uncomfortable kind. The kind that leaves you tired, stretched, humbled. The kind that rewires your identity. Not because someone told you to be better, but because you decided to earn it. Working like hell doesn't mean you destroy yourself. It means you build something inside yourself that can't be shaken. It means you show up even when you're tired, and you give even more when you feel like you've got nothing left. That's where confidence comes from. Not from hype, not from affirmation, from the quiet, relentless discipline of doing what matters, even when you don't feel like it. You've got to stop waiting to be motivated. Stop waiting to be inspired. Discipline is the only foundation that lasts. The question is not how do I feel today? The question is what needs to get done. And then you do it. That's how you win. That's how you build trust with yourself. Because when you do what you said you'd do, even when it's hard, something changes in your mind. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop identifying with weakness. And you become the kind of person who gets things done. People talk about purpose like it's some mystical force that falls into your lap one day. It's not. Purpose is found in motion, in doing, in trying, failing, adjusting, and showing up again. Purpose doesn't come to people who sit. It comes to people who work. And the more you work, the clearer it gets. You realize this life is yours. Not someday, not after the perfect plan. Now in the greatest tragedy, wasting it, drifting through your days, scrolling, escaping, overthinking, doubting, procrastinating. Meanwhile, the clock keeps ticking. Time doesn't care about your fears. It doesn't wait for your clarity. It moves. The question is, are you moving with it, or letting it leave you behind? Working like hell every day isn't just about the outcome. It's about who you become. Because the truth is, the process is more powerful than the reward. Most people chase results because they think success will finally make them feel something worthy, respected, safe. But you know what really changes how you feel about yourself? Earning it, doing the work, climbing the mountain, day after day. That's what builds pride. That's what builds identity. When you know you gave it your all, you walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself with strength because you're not faking anything. You've lived it. You've bled for it. You've earned it. You want to raise your standards? Then raise your work ethic. Stop waiting for someone to notice your potential. That's not their job. It's yours. And if you're not treating your time like it's precious, if you're not attacking your day like it matters, then don't expect results that reflect greatness. Greatness is not handed out. It's carved from repetition, and it demands sacrifice. You'll lose sleep. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose the approval of people who don't understand your grind. But you'll gain something more important. You'll gain power, not over others, but over yourself. That's the greatest power there is. To wake up, no matter how you feel, and do what needs to be done. You don't need more motivation. You need more responsibility. Own your goals. Own your routines. Own your attitude. Own your standards. If it's not good enough, raise it. If you're slipping, tighten it. If you're distracted, fix it. No one is coming to do it for you. It's on you. And that's the best news there is, because it means you're in control. The minute you take full ownership of your life, your results, your habits, your thoughts, your time, everything changes. You stop blaming, you stop waiting, and you start doing. And the more you do, the stronger you get. Physically, mentally, emotionally. There's a strength you'll never discover unless you put yourself in situations that demand it. Unless you push. Unless you get uncomfortable. Unless you stay consistent long enough to see results. And most won't. Most want shortcuts. Most want hacks. But you can't hack character. You can't hack mastery. You can't hack discipline. You either build it or you don't. And the ones who build it, those are the people who become impossible to ignore. Not because they yell, not because they show off, but because their work speaks for them. Because they built a foundation brick by brick, day after day, while the world slept. And eventually the results make noise, all by themselves. That's the life you want. Not the illusion of success. The reality of it. And the reality is, it's hard. It's demanding. It will test everything inside you. But that's the point. Because everything you want is on the other side of effort. Consistent, intense, deliberate effort. Not once in a while. Not for a week. But every single day. Work like hell. Because the alternative is regret. And regret is a slow poison. It doesn't kill you instantly. It eats at you over time. The what-ifs. The missed chances. The potential you ignored. You want to avoid that? Then start today. Start where you are, with what you have, and commit to one thing: you will not be outworked. You don't need talent to outwork people. You don't need connections. You need hunger. You need fire. You need to decide that your goals mean more than your distractions, that your standards mean more than your comfort, that your future means more than your feelings. It's not glamorous. Most of the work is unseen. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the silent battles, the moments when you don't want to do it, and you do it anyway. That's where champions are made. That's where confidence is built. Not from luck, from labor. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. It's going to take longer than you want. It's going to be harder than you thought. But if you stay the course, if you keep showing up, keep improving, keep fighting, one day it all clicks. The compound effect takes over. The discipline pays off. And everything changes. Not because the world suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger, wiser, sharper, and more focused. You earned the right to win because you didn't just wish for it. You worked for it. You didn't beg for it. You didn't post about it. You lived it. You breathed it. You put in the work every single day without needing validation. That's what separates the doers from the talkers, the ones who rise from the ones who stay stuck. You want to build something that lasts? Then you better be ready to outlast everyone who quits when it gets tough. It's not about being the most talented. It's not about being the smartest. It's about showing up again and again no matter what. That's how mountains are moved. That's how habits are broken and rebuilt. That's how you become the person you said you would be. There's something unshakable about someone who works like hell and expects nothing to be given, because they know every inch of progress was earned, not by luck. Not by shortcuts, but by sweat, by grind, by persistence in the face of frustration. That kind of discipline becomes your armor. Life hits, but it doesn't break you. It sharpens you. You stop chasing approval and start chasing growth. You stop caring about applause and start focusing on mastery. You stop measuring progress by how things look and start measuring it by how you feel inside. Strong, capable, proud. You can't fake that kind of power. You can't buy it. You've got to earn it. One hard day at a time. That's why it matters. Because nobody can take it from you once you've lived it. You'll know, deep in your gut, you didn't quit. You didn't cut corners. You gave it everything. And that kind of confidence doesn't just show up in your goals. It leaks into every area of your life, your relationships, your health, your mindset. Because when you prove to yourself that you can do hard things, you start expecting more from yourself in every area. You raise the bar and you stop settling for less than what you know you can become. Look around. Most people aren't even trying. They're coasting. They're waiting for life to hand them something better. But you're not here to coast. You're here to conquer, to stretch, to challenge every weakness until it becomes strength. But don't confuse activity with progress. Busy isn't the same as disciplined. You've got to be intentional, strategic, brutally honest with yourself. What are you doing with your time? Where is your energy going? Are your actions aligned with the results you want? If not, fix it. Working like hell doesn't just mean more hours. It means better focus, better decisions, better execution. You've got to lock in, remove distractions, tighten your environment. Stop giving your attention to things that don't build your future. If it doesn't grow you, let it go. If it doesn't sharpen you, walk away. You can't afford to carry dead weight, mentally, emotionally, or physically. Not if you're serious about becoming someone who earns their respect through action. And yes, it's going to get lonely sometimes, because the path of high standards isn't crowded. Most people won't understand your level of urgency. They'll try to slow you down, talk you out of it, water you down. That's fine. Let them stay comfortable. You've got something bigger in mind, and you don't owe anyone an explanation. Your work will speak for you. Your results will say what your words never could. So don't waste time convincing anyone. Just keep moving, keep building, keep becoming. Because somewhere in the future, the version of you who never gave up is already living the life you're working for right now. That version exists. Strong, clear, focused, successful. And every time you show up when it's hard, you get one step closer. You start to feel the shift. Your mindset hardens. Your body follows. Your habits transform. Your vision gets sharper. And before you know it, you're not working like hell just to survive. You're doing it because it's who you are now. It's how you live. It's how you breathe. It becomes a standard you won't lower. Not for comfort, not for company, not for applause, because you've learned the truth. Discipline is freedom, effort is power, and working like hell every day is not punishment. It's your privilege. You were given this life. You were given these hours, these moments, these choices. The question is, what are you doing with them? Are you using them to build, to grow, to rise? Or are you wasting them, hoping that somehow things will get better without your effort? They won't. But the good news, you can start today, right now. No matter how far behind you feel, no matter how long you've delayed, the power is still in your hands. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to show up raw, tired, afraid, and give your best anyway, that's when you start changing your life. Not when you wait, not when things get easier. Now, in this moment, with whatever you have. That's how winners are made. Not in perfect conditions, but in pressure, in struggle, in silence. So get up, tighten your focus, set the standard, and don't stop until your life reflects the effort you've put in. Work like hell, because you still have time. And if you've got time, you've got no excuse. Because every second that passes is either building your future or burying your potential. Every minute is casting a vote for who you're becoming. You can't pretend you don't know this anymore. You've seen what laziness costs. You've felt what regret tastes like. So stop lying to yourself. You're either committed or you're not. And if you are, if you've made that decision deep in your soul to no longer tolerate your own mediocrity, then you need to prove it. Not by talking, not by dreaming, but by doing. Daily, consistently, relentlessly. You've got to be the one who shows up when the fire's gone. When the motivation dries up, when no one claps for you. That's the test. That's the filter. That's how life separates the serious from the spectators. You've got to stop giving yourself an escape. Cut off the back door. Burn the excuse book. Because you don't need more reasons. You need more resolve. You don't need the right mood. You need the right mission. You don't need easy. You need execution. The dream you say you want is watching. It's waiting. And it only responds to one thing: effort. Consistent, focused, all in effort. Not sometimes. Not when it's convenient. Every day. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Because that pain you feel when you push past your limits, that's not weakness. That's the beginning of growth. That's the sound of your old self dying. And something greater being born. And if you keep going, something inside you starts to shift. You begin to trust yourself again. Not because you say the right things, but because you follow through. You keep your word. You execute on your own potential. And that quiet confidence, that inner belief, it starts to grow. And once that grows, you become dangerous, unstoppable. Because now your work ethic is no longer tied to results. It's tied to identity. It's who you are. You no longer work hard just to win. You work hard because you refuse to be anything less than excellent. That's the difference. That's what makes you stand out in a world full of half effort and broken promises. You become the one they can count on. The one who doesn't flinch under pressure. The one who holds the line when others fold. And not because you're better than anyone, but because you decided to stop betraying yourself. You made the choice to show up like it matters. Because it does. Don't wait for life to reward you before you start working like hell. Start now. And keep going until life has no choice but to notice. Because when you work with that kind of fire, when your focus gets that intense, something strange happens. The world starts to bend toward your will. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People take notice. Not because you begged for it, but because you earned it. You built value. And the world pays attention to value. That's the secret. No one wants to tell you. You don't get what you want. You get what you work for. And the price is high. But it's worth it. Because once you taste what it feels like to earn something that used to scare you, you'll never go back. You'll never again settle for the lazy version of yourself. The grind becomes your fuel. The discipline becomes your weapon. And the results, they become inevitable. But you have to start. You have to make today count. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel like it. Now. Even if it's just one decision. One task. One promise kept. That's the brick that lays the foundation. And if you stack enough of those, you build a legacy. Don't waste another year talking about what you could be. Become it. One decision. One step. One brutally honest hour at a time. Work like hell. Because average is everywhere. And you were never meant to be average. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't made to coast. There's something deep inside you that knows this. Something restless, something loud when it's quiet. Something that stings when you waste your time. When you avoid the hard things. When you choose comfort over growth. That feeling is not guilt. It's your soul begging for more. It's your potential knocking. Telling you to wake up. Telling you to step up. Telling you that the life you're living right now isn't the life you were built for. And you know it. You've always known it. But knowing isn't enough. Wanting isn't enough. Even believing isn't enough. You've got to put your hands on it. You've got to go get it. And the only currency that buys that kind of life is hard work. Work with direction, with vision, with heart. So stop overthinking. Stop waiting for clarity before you take action. Clarity comes after the effort, not before. You've got to earn it. You've got to show life that you're ready by putting in the time, by putting in the focus, by pushing through when everything in you wants to run. You've got to remind yourself every day why you started. Not in a soft way, not with motivational quotes and fake positivity, but in the raw, real way. Remember who you used to be. Remember how it felt to be lost, to feel behind, to feel like everyone else was passing you. And now realize you've got the chance to never feel like that again. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger, you got sharper, you got disciplined. That's what working like hell does. It rewires your mind. It reshapes your identity. You stop fearing the grind, and you start respecting it. You start craving the days that challenge you, because you know that's where the growth hides. You stop needing everything to feel good, because you've become someone who does the right thing, even when it doesn't. That's the turning point. That's when you know you've shifted. When you no longer need the world to cheer you on, because your internal voice is louder than the noise. It says, we're not stopping today. We're not quitting early. We're going all the way. And that voice doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from discipline, from action, from those quiet days when you showed up and no one saw. It's built brick by brick every time you decide to stay in the fight a little longer. Every time you refuse to go back to who you used to be. Because let's be honest, what's the alternative? Sit back and hope something magical happens. Keep lying to yourself that you'll start next week. Watch your life slip by in the name of someday. No, not anymore. You've already wasted enough time. You've already played small for too long. This is your season to go all in. This is your moment to become the version of yourself you keep dreaming about. And the only way to reach that version is to work like hell every day. There are no hacks, no shortcuts, no secret formulas. Just you, your work ethic, and your ability to show up day after day when it's not convenient, when no one's watching, when it's easier to scroll, to sleep in, to quit. And those choices matter. They stack up. They become your story. And every story has a direction. Every day you're either writing a story of excuses or a story of progress. And you've got to choose which one you want to live inside. Don't wait for inspiration to strike. Strike first, move first, act before you're ready. Because if you do it enough times, you stop needing permission. You stop waiting for the right mood, the right timing, the right weather. You become someone who does what needs to be done, period. That kind of power, it's earned, and it's rare. Most people never tap into it. They get stuck in the cycle of starting and stopping, dreaming and doubting. But not you, not anymore. Because the moment you decide to work like hell, every day, without exception, you change your future. Not overnight, not in one big leap, but gradually, silently, and completely. One focused hour at a time, one hard-earned win at a time, until the life you used to chase is now the life you wake up inside of. Work like hell, every day, because the life you want doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to work. And if you really understood how limited your time is, how fast it goes, how quickly a year can pass without change, you wouldn't waste another moment hesitating. You'd move with urgency. You'd rise earlier. You'd cut the distractions. You'd stop negotiating with your excuses. You'd begin to see time as your most precious asset, not money, not status, time. Because time, once gone, never comes back. You can lose everything else and rebuild. But time, when it's wasted, it's gone forever. And that reality should wake you up. It should scare you enough to stop drifting. Because no dream survives neglect. No goal thrives in delay. You've got to take responsibility for what you're doing with your hours, with your days, with your energy. You don't get to escape the grind and still expect the rewards. That's not how it works. You want the body, you want the business, you want the peace, the power, the freedom. Then show up and put in the work, relentlessly, unapologetically, without needing someone to drag you to it. This is what separates the great from the average, the elite from the ones who never cross the line. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's how willing you are to show up and push when it's no longer exciting, when it's boring, hard, and thankless. And let's get honest. The world won't hand you anything just because you wish for it. Life doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You can dream all you want, talk all you want, hope all you want. But until that work gets done, you stay exactly where you are. So start living in a way that honors your goals, that backs up your ambition. Stop making decisions based on how you feel in the moment. Feelings change, but your standards, those must stay fixed, locked in, non-negotiable. You show up because that's who you are now. You give everything because you said you would. You work like hell because you refuse to be owned by regret ever again. You're not chasing a fantasy. You're building a reality, one that reflects effort, growth, ownership. And that means doing what most won't. Waking up when you don't want to. Saying no when it's easier to say yes. focusing when everyone else is distracted. You want uncommon results. You need uncommon discipline. That's the price. And here's the truth. Most people won't pay it. Most people will settle. They'll talk about success, but never commit to it. They'll stay stuck in cycles of almost started, almost followed through, almost changed. But almost doesn't change your life. Only done does. Only consistent, brutal honesty with yourself does. Only sacrifice does. And if you're serious, truly serious, then that's what you'll choose. You'll stop trying to balance comfort with progress. You'll pick one, and you'll go all in. Because there's no version of success where you get to avoid hard work. No version of growth where you skip the grind. You've got to face it head on, daily. No matter what, that's how you build something real. That's how you build something unshakable. You see, it's not just about money. It's not just about goals. It's about who you become in the process. That's the real win. That you turned the discipline into identity. That you became the kind of person who follows through no matter what. And once you taste that power, once you realize you can outwork, outlast, and outdiscipline the version of yourself that used to hold you back, you're free. You don't need hype. You don't need validation. You've built something inside that no one can take. But again, it starts with work. Not random work. Not desperate hustle. Focused. Intentional. Ruthless with your time. Deliberate with your energy. Strategic with your growth. And above all, consistent. So whatever it is you're trying to build, start building it today. And don't let up. Don't pause. Don't wait. Every single day you get another chance to prove to yourself that you're serious. That you're done playing small. That you're no longer negotiating with your future. Work like hell. Every day. And keep going until your effort becomes undeniable. There will be moments when the work feels endless. When your body screams to stop. When your mind floods with doubt. When everything inside you begs for relief. Those moments aren't your enemy. They're your gateway. Pain is the signal that you're breaking through. Exhaustion is the evidence that you're building strength. Doubt is the invitation to deepen your belief. These aren't reasons to quit. They're the signs that you're alive, that you're moving, that you're growing. The truth is, no one can do this for you. No one will live your dream for you. No one will make your sacrifice for you. The world doesn't owe you your success. The universe doesn't owe you comfort. If you want it, you have to fight for it. And that fight looks like showing up, grinding out the hours, leaning into the discomfort, even when no one's watching, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. That's where winners are made. Not in the spotlight, not in the easy moments, but in the silent wars you wage inside yourself. Because when you do that, when you push past the easy path, you build a version of yourself that can't be stopped. You build resilience. You build discipline. You build character. And character is the foundation of everything worth having. Money, success, freedom, respect, these all follow character. Without it, they're hollow. With it, they become unstoppable forces. You have to make peace with the grind. You have to stop wishing for a life without struggle and start embracing the struggle that builds the life. The life that demands your best. The life that challenges you to grow into your fullest potential. And the irony is this: when you commit to working like hell every day, you don't lose your freedom, you gain it. Because discipline breeds freedom. Because mastery of your craft, mastery of yourself, opens doors that wishful thinking never will. Every hour you invest is a seed planted. Every sacrifice is a foundation laid. And one day those seeds grow into forests. Those foundations hold up skyscrapers. The work you do now creates your tomorrow. But it starts with you. It starts with the decision to get out of your own way, to stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect condition, the perfect mood. It starts with the choice to work like hell. Not sometimes, not when it's easy, but every day. You owe that to yourself. You owe that to your dreams. You owe that to the person you're becoming. Don't let fear steal your chance. Don't let comfort convince you to settle. Don't let doubt silence your potential. Work like hell. Because the only way to win is to refuse to quit. And in that refusal lies your power. In that refusal lies your freedom. In that refusal lies your future. Work like hell every day. No exceptions. No excuses. Because when the dust settles, when the noise fades, when the world forgets your name, what remains is the work you put in. And that work tells a story no one can ever erase. That story is yours. Write it with everything you have. Work like hell. Every day. No one else will. Why should you? There's a part of you right now that knows you've been holding back. You've had moments of fire, bursts of discipline, flashes of focus. But deep down, you know you've been giving the world a fraction of what you're capable of. You've been negotiating with your greatness, playing it safe, waiting. But waiting doesn't build anything. Waiting doesn't create momentum. Waiting robs you of time you'll never get back. You don't need another pep talk. You don't need more information. You don't need motivation to strike like lightning. What you need is to decide that from this day forward, you're going to treat every hour like it matters, because it does. You're going to treat every action like it has meaning, because it does. Your future isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to commit, to lock in, to refuse to break the promises you make to yourself. And you start with today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not when you feel inspired, today. Right now, you start with what you have, where you are, and who you are, and you make it count. Because working like hell isn't about rushing blindly. It's about becoming obsessed with execution. It's about becoming the person who gets it done. Not sometimes, not when it's easy. Every time. No matter what, there are people out there with less talent, fewer opportunities, harder circumstances who are outperforming you. Not because they're better, but because they've committed deeper. They've burned the bridge behind them. They're not entertaining excuses. They've decided this is it. And that kind of hunger, once it takes root inside you, it changes everything. You stop needing results to stay committed. You stay committed because it's who you are now. You stop needing comfort to feel strong. You become strong because you choose pressure. You invite it. You learn to carry the weight. You train your mind to handle what others run from. And every day you wake up and face the grind. You grow. You gain ground. Maybe not in visible ways. Maybe not in applause or rewards. But inside you're becoming unshakable, solid, unstoppable. And over time the results come. Quietly at first, then loudly. And when they do, people will call you lucky. They'll say you were gifted. They'll try to explain away your success with anything but the truth. But you'll know that behind every win was 1,000 invisible days of relentless effort, of work no one saw, of battles no one celebrated, of mornings when you could have stayed in bed but didn't. That's the price. That's the path. And if you walk it with full commitment, you won't just build a better life. You'll become someone you never imagined you could be. So don't wait for someone to push you. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for the mood to strike. Start now. Work like hell, every day. Because when the world hands you obstacles, you won't flinch. When life gets loud, you won't fold. When the pressure rises, you won't run. You'll show up. You'll handle it. You'll rise. Not because it's easy, but because you've trained yourself to do what's required. And that's how you win. Not with noise, not with talk, with action. Daily, deliberate, relentless action. Work like hell, every day. Every day you do the work, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. And those votes add up. They add up in silence. They add up without applause. They add up while the world is still sleeping, while others are still waiting, while most are still making excuses. And then one day, they tip the scale. One day you wake up and you realize you're not the same anymore. You're stronger, sharper, more focused. The noise that used to shake you doesn't even touch you now. The fears that once held you back seem small because you built something real. You earned this. You earned your peace. You earned your clarity. You earned the right to walk into a room and know exactly who you are. That confidence doesn't come from wishing. It doesn't come from words. It comes from days, weeks, months of doing the work when it wasn't glamorous, when no one was cheering, when every part of you wanted to quit, but you didn't. And that's what separates you now. You didn't quit. You didn't let comfort talk you out of your purpose. You didn't let emotions dictate your direction. You chose the path most people avoid, the one that demands effort without reward, discipline without praise, sacrifice without sympathy. You chose to work like hell every day, and in doing so you gained what most never will: mastery over yourself, because that's the real prize. Not the money, not the spotlight, not the applause. It's the fact that you are no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You don't need motivation. You don't need outside permission. You've become your own driving force. That kind of strength. It can't be bought. It can't be given. It can only be earned in the trenches. When it's hard, when it's lonely, when no one understands what you're building and why it matters so much to you. But you keep going. You keep going because the mission is bigger than the moment. You keep going because you know what it's like to wake up with regret, and you never want to feel that again. You keep going because you finally understand the truth. Every dream demands a price. And the only question is, are you willing to pay it? If the answer is yes, then act like it. Stop overthinking. Stop delaying. Stop dipping your toes in and wondering why nothing's changing. Commit fully. Decide that from this moment forward, there are no more half measures. No more talking about it. No more planning without execution. No more hoping success will come to you. You go get it. You show up like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your peace, your purpose, your fulfillment. It's all tied to whether or not you're willing to go all in on the work. So build it brick by brick, hour by hour, sacrifice by sacrifice. You don't need to rush. You just need to be relentless. Relentless in your focus. Relentless in your standards. Relentless in your decision to outlast every distraction, every doubt, every delay. Because that's how you win in real life. You stop chasing the quick hits, the easy routes, the empty promises. You commit to depth. You commit to growth. You commit to doing the hard things every single day, even when no one sees, even when no one cares. Because eventually, the world does see, and by then you won't need their validation. You'll already know who you are. Work like hell, every single day, until there's no doubt left, not in your mind, not in theirs, until your life becomes the proof, and you never have to explain yourself again. When you work like hell every day, you stop needing to prove anything with your words. Your results speak for you. Your presence says it all. The way you walk, the way you handle pressure, the way you show up day after day, it tells the world you're not like the rest. Because most people talk. Most people start, then stop. Most people get excited, then disappear. They post their goals. They say this time it's different, and they believe it for a while, until it gets hard, until it requires more than motivation, until it demands consistency. But you're done living that way. You're done being part of the cycle that never leads anywhere. You've seen what it cost to stay comfortable. You've tasted the regret that follows delay, and you've made your decision. From now on, the grind is your standard, not something you do once in a while. Something you live. It's your language. It's how you move. It's how you think. It's how you breathe. You don't need praise. You don't need recognition. You don't even need the outcome right away, because you've matured past the need for instant rewards. You've stopped chasing dopamine hits. Now you chase growth. You chase the person you become through the effort. That shift changes everything, because now you're no longer driven by emotion. You're driven by commitment. Emotion is temporary. Commitment is identity. It's not I want to work hard. It's I'm the kind of person who works hard, period. And that identity doesn't crack under pressure. It doesn't fold under fatigue. It doesn't look for shortcuts. It stays the course every day. No matter what, there will be times when everything in your life will test that identity. You'll face setbacks you didn't see coming. People will walk away. Plans will fall apart. You'll feel alone in the pursuit. And it's in those moments, the quiet, lonely, painful ones, that your work ethic becomes your anchor. You don't need to feel inspired to do what needs to be done. You just do it. Because the work is no longer a burden. It's your rhythm. It's your structure. It's your proof that you're still in control. And every day you keep going, you build something, no one can take from you. Not money, not success, something deeper. You build self-respect because there is no feeling on earth like knowing you honored your word to yourself. You didn't talk about it. You lived it. You didn't wait for motivation. You moved without it. You didn't hope. You built. You didn't react. You created. And that's what separates people who touch success from those who just dream about it. It's not luck. It's not even timing. It's work. And not just work when it's easy. Work when it's cold. Work when it's dark. Work when it's lonely. Work when your emotions are a mess. Work when nothing seems to be changing. Work when your energy is low. Work when it feels like the results are a million miles away. You show up anyway. Because you're not working for applause. You're working for mastery. You're working to earn the life you know is possible. If you refuse to quit, every minute matters now. Every hour you grind is a vote for the future you want. And that future isn't going to wait for you to feel ready. It's not going to lower its standards to match your comfort. If you want it, you rise to meet it. That means putting in the time. That means showing up when you're tired. That means shutting down distractions. That means eliminating excuses. That means getting up every day and deciding that your work matters, even if no one claps, even if no one sees, even if it takes years. Because what's the alternative? To keep living below your potential, to keep wishing instead of working, to keep telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. No, that version of you is gone. You've buried the excuses. You've let go of the waiting. You've stepped into a new reality. One where the mission is clear. Work like hell every day. Because this isn't about being better than others. This is about being better than you were yesterday. And that version of you, the one who outlasts the doubt, who keeps going when it's hard, who works like hell, day in and day out, that version of you is unstoppable. Not because everything goes right, but because nothing can make you stop.